the best part of being an emotionless human, you can help people with those sorts of decisions.
That too. Yeah.
That's what makes you perfect for your job, right?
Yeah, exactly.
What's the biggest mistake that you see people make when they're purchasing or even renting a home?
One thing that we see all the time is people will fall in love with a house because they get fixated on one item, whether it's a beautifully renovated kitchen or whether it's just the way the house is staged. And they'll just ignore the fact that it doesn't have, the number of bathrooms they need, or they'll ignore in the neighborhood, whether there's a train that runs right behind the house or whether it's not the right area for a school that the kids need to go to. So taking the emotions out of it is the tough thing. I mean, that's the best part of my job as being a real estate professional, is to be able to be that third party that can say, okay, beautiful home, you love the kitchen. Let's take one step back and think of all those things that you put on your must-have list and the things that this house does and doesn't have.
I thought you were going to say the best part of being an emotionless human, you can help people with those sorts of decisions.
That too. Yeah.
That's what makes you perfect for your job, right?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people assume a brand new home or a brand new condo is good to go. No problem. You have home warranty, you're good to go. That's not the case, though. A lot of new builds can have even more problems than older houses. And a lot of times some new builds are not built the same way that those beautiful old houses were built, built to last. So it's important to always remember you need to still get a home inspection done to make sure that you're not getting into a money pit.
And when you are looking to help somebody buy a fixer-upper home, what are those key things that you look for that you can see this home has potential versus an older home that maybe doesn't have that potential?
So most of the time, we'll usually recommend that people try and find a home where the footprint of the home overall is what they need. Interior, you can change all of that, but it's very hard to do an addition or to add another story. When you're getting into something like that, it's a whole different type of permitting. It's depending on your zoning, but you need a development permit and whatnot. I've had people, 2 years later, they're still trying to get their permits approved to do a big addition. And if you know that your family is going to be growing, maybe you have one child, you're going to have another child, get a home now that you can grow into, because every time you have to try and sell again and move, there are legal fees, transfer taxes, all of these things that come out of your pocket.
Do you have any advice for people that are buying a home for the first time?
It can be really hard, especially in an expensive market. We still really recommend if you're in a situation where, you want to partner up with somebody and get into a place, get into the market, or find a place that has potential rental income.
Properly is doing exactly what people need here for first-time home buyers, is use technology for good. And so I think that's a massive thing to keep in mind, is having the right professional, like a Properly agent who understands technology, has all the analytics to help you really hone in on what you need.
For most people, their home is their retirement plan. That's their biggest investment. Mm-hmm. So it's worth making sure that you're kicking the tires, you're doing your legwork, you're working with the right professionals.
And that makes the whole thing a lot less stressful for an individual trying to take it on themselves too.
I think that's the key thing for people to remember. You can make bad and you can make good buying and selling decisions anytime. Doesn't matter if the market's up or down. It's all individual based on that property.
Right. So if I own a home and the market is way up and I sell, I've made money. But if you're not planning on selling, if you're planning on living somewhere for quite some time, the market's going to continually do this all the time. And eventually, statistically, it always goes up. So I think that's the thing to keep in mind, is that any time is a good time to get into real estate. But you want to make sure that you have the right professional that knows how to assess the market value.
And one of the most common times where we see somebody make a bad decision is if they're being rushed. Maybe there are multiple offers and they feel stressed and they're rushed, and all of a sudden they end up making an offer that's much higher than it should be. Don't let anybody pressure you into a bad financial decision.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our Narcity channel to see more content just like this.